Welcome to Bodhi Unified Flow. I'm your host, Dr. Morimuthu, and here we simplify complexity and amplify performance. Today, we're going to unlock the hidden blueprint behind every major construction project. We're talking about the 6 phases of construction project management, or CPM, and we're going to follow the entire journey, right from a single idea all the way to a towering icon.
You know, behind every single one of those structures, there's this invisible, highly structured process. It's a disciplined journey that turns a vision into something real, something you can touch. And trust me, it's not magic. It's a powerful field of management. Today, we're pulling back that curtain to show you exactly how it all works. So, here's our roadmap for today. We're going to cover everything from that initial spark of an idea right through to the final handover. By the end, you'll have a complete framework for how modern construction actually happens. Okay, let's dive right in. Our goal here is pretty simple, to give you a really clear understanding of this whole process. So by the time we're done, you won't just see a building, you'll see the hidden blueprint of decisions, actions, and controls that brought it to life. Every great structure starts not with a shovel, but with a really basic question. Is this project even a good idea? This is phase 1. This is the crucial starting point where an idea is rigorously tested before a single dollar is ever spent on construction.
Right. So this is the make or break stage, the go or no-go decision. It's all about defining the project's fundamental purpose. It's why. And let me tell you, every single blueprint, every beam, and every bolt that comes later depends entirely on the clarity and the smart decisions made right here at the very beginning.
In this phase, a vague idea gets turned into a concrete proposal. A feasibility study is done to check, can we actually build this, can we afford it, and is it legal? The result is the project charter, and you can think of that as the project's official birth certificate. It's the one document that gives the green light and outlines its core mission.
So, here's the bottom line. A strong initiation phase is your single best defense against project failure. It stops you from building an impossible dream, or maybe even worse, building a perfectly good building that nobody actually wants or can afford.
Okay, so our idea has been approved. It's got the green light. Now we move into the next critical stages. This is where that high-level idea gets translated into a meticulously detailed, totally actionable blueprint for success.
You know, the design process is really a journey of increasing detail. It starts off broad, with conceptual sketches. Then it moves into more refined drawings. And it all culminates in these incredibly detailed construction documents, the precise, step-by-step instructions that will guide every single action on the job site.
Now, what's really fascinating here is how project planning scales with time. A manager has to juggle that long-term vision, the master plan, while also knowing what needs to get done next month and what absolutely has to get done this week. It's this constant process of zooming in and zooming out.
This is where things start to get really real. With the designs locked in, it's time to get all the permits, pick the best contractors and suppliers, order materials, and create a rock-solid schedule. Then, you bring the whole team together for a kickoff meeting to make sure everyone is on the same page and ready to build.
All right, now we get to the part everyone thinks of when they imagine construction. With all the plans laid and the team assembled, the vision finally starts to rise from the ground. This is where we go from paper to concrete reality.
And I love this slide because it perfectly shows the relationship between execution and monitoring. They're two sides of the same coin, and they happen at the exact same time. Execution is the heart. It's the physical work, the action on site. But monitoring? That's the brain and the nervous system, constantly checking, adjusting, and steering to keep the whole project on course.
So monitoring isn't passive. It's a very active process. We're tracking key indicators, especially that famous iron triangle, that constant balancing act between cost, schedule, and quality. This is how you manage changes, ensure safety, and keep everyone in the loop. It's how you use data to stop small problems from becoming project-killing disasters.
And now we arrive at the final phase. But listen, this isn't just about finishing the work. It's about finishing strong, making sure every last detail is perfect, and handing over a functional, lasting legacy.
You know, this quote just says it all. A project's ultimate success isn't just judged by the building itself, but by how smoothly it's completed and handed over. A strong ending really solidifies the success of the entire journey.
The closeout is a meticulous process. Final inspections confirm the building is pretty much done. Then a punch list is created to track and fix any minor issues. A scuff on a wall, a sticky lock.
Commissioning is where we test all the systems, HVAC, electrical, you name it. Finally, all the bills are paid and a review is held to capture lessons for the future.
A really successful handover gives the new owner not just a building, but a complete user manual for it. This includes the final as-built drawings, which show how it was actually built, all the warranties, and the all-important certificate of occupancy, which legally confirms the building is safe and ready to be used.
So let's step back for a second and summarize how all these different phases come together to create one complete, repeatable framework for success. We've literally gone from a simple question to a fully realized structure.
And here it is, the entire life cycle summed up in 6 core questions, from checking if it's viable, to designing the details, to gathering the team, doing the work, overseeing the progress, and finally, the formal handover. You can see how each phase just logically and powerfully builds on the last.
And there you have it. You now have the framework that professionals use to manage projects of all sizes. You can see that structured sequence, you can identify the key activities in each phase, and you can appreciate how this whole methodical approach is designed to deliver success.
So, I'll leave you with this thought. The next time you see a new building going up or you drive across a bridge, try to look beyond the steel and glass. I hope you'll now be able to see that invisible architecture of management, the feasibility studies, the detailed plans, and the meticulous closeout that made it all possible.
Thank you so much for joining this session from Bodhi Unified Flow. For those of you who want to dig even deeper, we've got our key references up on the screen. We'll see you next time as we continue to simplify complexity and amplify performance.